After an action-packed premiere, this week's episode takes it down a notch, but we are introduced to a new character, Paul Monroe, aka Jesus. Now this is my second favorite character of the entire show. He's known for being a badass zombie killer that takes down walkers with just his hands and feet. Now without further ado, let's dive right into the recap and get some insight as to what was inspired by the comics. Before we begin, let's get our warning and disclaimer out of the way. This video contains spoilers for this episode and possible future episodes of AMC's The Walking Dead. If you do not wish to have any surprises ruined, cover your eyes, ears, and pee hole, or favorite this video and watch later. Don't forget to subscribe to check out further videos. We kick off the show in Alexandria, where they're dealing with the aftermath of the zombie horde. It seems like a few weeks later, and supplies appear to be running low.
Today's the day. You're gonna find food, maybe some people. Law of averages, gotta catch up.
Oh, we ain't seen nobody for weeks.
Rick and Daryl decide to make a run, and while out exploring, they come across a truck full of supplies. Things are looking up as the truck is packed full of canned goods, more than they can ever have hoped for. On the way home, they stop off at a gas station, and while trying to break open a vending machine, the duo gets surprised by a mysterious stranger. He introduces himself as Paul Rovia, otherwise known as Jesus.
What's your name?
Paul Rovia. But my friends used to call me Jesus.
In the comics, this encounter is very similar. It's Michonne and Abraham who are out on the supply run in a close-by, deserted city. After clearing the street of walkers, a stranger pops out of a car and surprises them. Not taking too kindly to Michonne pointing a sword at him, he shows off his Street Fighter skills and, even while unarmed, pulls some Jackie Chan stuff to kick both of their asses. Demanding to speak to their leader, Michonne runs off to fetch Rick. When he returns, the stranger explains he only wishes to talk and introduces himself as Paul Monroe. He explains to Rick that he was on a supply run and is interested in starting a trade with Alexandria. He also informs them of two other communities and lets them know that they are not the only survivors out there. AMC changed his name from Monroe to Rovia for the show. While I couldn't find any official explanation, actor Tom Payne says the change was most likely so they didn't confuse fans of only the TV show, as the mayor of Alexandria and his family also have a surname of Monroe. At the gas station, Paul Monroe, or Rovia for the show's sake, introduces himself to Rick and Daryl and warns them of an approaching horde before running away.
Where? About a half a mile back. They're headed this way. You probably have about 11 minutes.
This turns out to be a ruse, though, just to steal their truck with the use of a clever diversion. Feeling a bit foolish and very pissed off, Rick and Daryl decide to track the truck. They catch up to Jesus, and getting the jump on him, they're able to take the truck back, but only to find out he's hitching a ride on the roof. Another fight ensues, and just as it seems Jesus is going to kick their ass again, Daryl pulls a cheap shot and knocks him out. Realizing Jesus hasn't actually pulled any weapons on them, or maybe just because he's freaking Jesus, Rick decides to save him from the walkers and takes him back to Alexandria, all tied up. This scene was also inspired by the comics. During his conversation with Jesus, Rick pretends to go along with his idea of visiting Hilltop only long enough to trick him and knock him out. Like in the show, Jesus is tied up and also brought back to Alexandria. Supposedly, some stuff happens with Michonne and Rick, and it becomes kind of a big deal. After a steamy Ebony and Ivory session, we fast forward to the next morning where Rick is awakened to the figure of Jesus standing over him, showing Rick the miracle of freeing himself from his bonds. A similar event occurs in the comics as well. Rick decides to put his faith in Jesus and agrees to go to Hilltop as long as Paul remains tied up. When they get to the community though, Jesus reveals that he has escaped his bindings and was pretending to be tied up the whole time, testing Rick in the process. We'll leave it off here for now. So let me know what your thoughts were of tonight's show and the character Jesus and how AMC presented him so far. Leave your comments in the section below. Don't forget to thumb up and share and subscribe if you like these. And until next time, keep on walking.